Thank you for tuning in to the Hope, Strength, Courage podcast. Love and support for parents whose kids are fighting for their lives. A weekly podcast created to support parents and caregivers of children diagnosed with cancer, where you will find resources collected to help you face each day with hope, strength, and courage. From interviews with the top experts in their fields, doctors, psychologists, chaplains, and inspiring frontline workers in pediatric oncology as they share their best advice, as well as day-to-day advice collected from other cancer moms and leaders in personal growth and development. From individuals who understand how hard it can be, I hope you will feel better prepared to cope with the day-to-day challenges of caring for your child. Hi, I am Laura Lane, and I am your host. My own daughter Celeste was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 12. In 2015, I wrote about our experiences in the book, Two Mothers, One Prayer, Facing Your Child's Cancer with Hope, Strength, and Courage. Since that time, I have dedicated thousands of hours to share with other parents and caregivers the resources, tools, tips, and skills and strategies I learned that helped our family stay happier, healthier, and more hopeful. My goal is to share with you my interviews with experts to support you as you care for a child with cancer. Today's episode features my interview with Fiz Anthony, professional singer and songwriter. Fiz is a dear friend of mine whose music is featured in the opening and closing credits of the Hope, Strength, Courage podcast. And even closer to my heart, when my daughter Celeste found out that her cancer had become terminal, Fiz wrote a special song just for her called Angel on a Stage. You can watch the video for it on my YouTube channel. Last week, when I spoke with Dr. Mark Seaton about how to choose happiness habits to increase your daily well-being, he mentioned the importance of flow. Listening to, playing, or dancing to music would all fall under the category of flow. That is exactly what Fiz is talking to us about in this week's interview, the healing nature of music and how to bring more music into your child's life. I hope you will enjoy this interview as much as I did. I am pleased to formally introduce you to Fiz Anthony. Fiz is a professional singer-songwriter whose music has been on the Billboard charts. He also writes songs for speakers, entrepreneurs, and companies. In 2008, Carmen Road School in Massapequa, New York, awarded Fiz with the Ralph Morrow Achievement Award for his outstanding community service on behalf of the physically challenged. Fiz is also the author of Ignite the Rockstar Within, a book and keynote concert series that educates and empowers children and adults to know their soul purpose and to follow their hearts. So welcome everyone to Hope and Happiness for Cancer Kids. Experts share how to get the best care possible and create wonderful memories together. This virtual summit is set up to share with parents whose children have cancer to help them to find the hope and happiness for themselves and for their children. Today, I am interviewing Fiz. Fiz is a professional singer-songwriter whose music has been on the Billboard charts. He also writes songs for speakers, entrepreneurs, and companies. He has more information about that at signaturesongs.fiz.com. In 2008, Carmen Road School in Massapequa, New York, awarded Fiz with the Ralph Morrow Achievement Award for his outstanding community service on behalf of the physically challenged. Fiz is also the author of Ignite the Rockstar Within, a book and keynote concert series that educates and empowers children and adults to know their soul purpose and to follow their hearts. You can learn more about Fiz at his website, fiz4ever.com. That's F-I-Z or Z in the United States, Fiz4ever.com. And I hope you will fall in love with his music as much as I have. Fiz was a blessing to us when my daughter Celeste was diagnosed with cancer, and her cancer became terminal in January 2013. And Fiz was ever so kind to write a beautiful song called Celeste, Angel on a Stage for us, and that can be seen on YouTube as well. So today I'm interviewing Fizz, talking about the healing power of music and how to bring more music into your child's life. Fizz, what would you like to share with parents whose children have cancer? What would be your advice to them on the healing power of music?
Well, yeah, thanks, Laura, for that beautiful introduction, by the way. So, first and foremost would be to understand just how powerful music really is. Um, it's really everything. I mean, the universe was created with sound, ohm. Everything is music, really, on a deeper level. So, um, understand that music changes your frequency. It does heal you. That's why it is used as legitimately in the medical field, the sound healing, and and so music does play a big part in healing, and the melody changing your emotions, sound music changing your frequency. So to really understand that, I would encourage parents to really dive into that and look into that further, because there's a lot of avenues in regards to music and healing. And I've always associated music with healing.
Yes.
That's my story, and it's in my book, which I mentioned. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
would you say that there are particular types of music that are more healing than others, or just in general allow the children to choose what's their favorite and enjoy it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's funny because people have an idea that they think certain music might be bad. I've heard like heavy metal is the devil's music, rock and roll is the devil's music, right? There's some parents that might be religious, whatever, wouldn't want their kids to listen to certain music or rap, you're right? But for me, like, I'm going to just go off what you've asked a little just to give an example. But for me, I always associated rock and roll with healing, and because that's what it was for me. And so, uh, most importantly, the individual and what they perceive and how they receive whatever style of music is the most important thing. I've done a lot of work performing for children of all ages in many different situations, many different illnesses and physical disabilities. And some of them, one thing, the question, one of the teachers that I was having a conversation with told me that one of the children that she worked with responded best to like heavy metal, like death metal, like really heavy, heavy stuff because of the severity of this child's situation. So I'm going to say, honestly, whatever the child enjoys the most would be the most beneficial, and it could be any style. I don't. People in the world have a tendency. Most of us, like the Toltec call it, like the parasite. Most of us are born into belief systems where our parents, our society imposes their beliefs on the child, and therefore the child has these certain beliefs that are put upon them. But if you just let the child be who they are, what they want to be, and receive music how they want to receive it, that's the best.
So
Let them,
the most important part is that they feel happy and that they enjoy
yeah,
it. And
yeah, that exactly. That's the key. Is happiness
yeah,
and joy and laughter too. So music, laughter, comedy,
yes.
have fun, be goofy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I know that in our household, we love music and we love to crank the music and just have our own little dance parties. And I've seen videos of nurses doing that in the hospital rooms with the children, just putting on some awesome music and dancing together. That's what's going to make our children feel the best. And knowing that they are loved and supported and can be free and dance and have that creative expression. Um, what would you suggest? We have some talking points here about positive thoughts and prayer.
And
Yeah.
do you know a way of combining music with prayer?
Yeah. It's funny. That's a great question. Because to me, just as you asked that question, I was thinking lyrics to me are prayer. And most lyrics and songs to me, they are like prayers put into melody. Um, that's how powerful music is to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I was thinking that's a great question, and I've never particularly put like actual prayers to a song, and you've encouraged me to do that just by asking that question. But because I had what did I write out? Using positive thoughts and prayer to elevate soul. So yeah, um, they certainly can, and you can have background music and put that to your own affirmations. It's easy to do too. We have so much accessibility to easy software where you can just like go online and put meditation music, right? Have nice soft instrumental meditation music, and just put your own affirmations to that, and you can listen to that. So get creative. Um, I really encourage people, and when I do teach, I don't do it as much now when I had students to use your individuality and your imagination,
Mm-hmm.
because it helps you tap more into who you are, and it gets a little bit more individualized, which is more powerful. Um, there's a beauty to a lot of the way I approach music. Like, I'm so grateful that I was self-taught, and then I went and studied music, but I was self-taught first, and that gave me the ability to express myself without having the rules kind of interfere. And it's kind of like the same thing when I was mentioning, like the Toltec mentioned, like belief systems that people, once you're like imposed on a belief system, you're kind of in this box, and you're like, this is the real world, but you create your own real world through your imagination. So I encourage adults and children to use your imagination and just expand on that. I make videos and stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing. For anybody that's ever seen any of my music, if you go online, you can see some of my videos. There's a song called Anything I wrote. If you put my name Fizz and the word anything, and I did that video by myself, and I don't even know what I'm doing. No one ever taught me video, and it's just this fun video that expresses who I am, and you can do that with affirmations. And if you don't write music, that's fine. Like I said, you can go online, find meditation music, put your own affirmations or words even to that, and sing over it. Just sing your own melody. I always encourage people to just have fun and not try so hard. Like, just it's almost like speaking in tongues for those that are familiar with that in the spiritual world. It's like, let yourself go and let it flow,
It sounds
and
like
don't force it.
that's exactly what children innately do before we start to censor ourselves as we grow up. That if we
Yeah,
can allow children to just allow that creativity to flow, to hum, to think up lyrics, to do what brings joy to their hearts,
yeah,
and then sing it to the world. Um, that would be a great way to bring happiness into our children's lives. That we should be singing. Um,
yes,
so when I have our third talking point, which is talking on focusing on joy and laughter. And what would you recommend to parents to bring more joy and laughter into a hospital room, into a recovering child's bedroom, to someone who is faced with procedures and pokes and all that yucky medical stuff? What are some of the ways that you would imagine would be great to bring some joy and laughter into their lives?
Well, of course, it would be to not focus on anything that's in that hospital environment. And how can you transform that environment?
Mm-hmm.
So again, be creative. And another thing I'm going to say, I'm going to probably get in trouble. Probably hospital staff would not be happy with me, but I'm not somebody that plays by the rules. I want you to know, for those of you that are listening to me, I encourage people to break the rules. I'm a big, big fan of breaking the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because again, there's a lot of energy in hospitals that are the energy is it's a heavy energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very heavy energy. So how can you lighten that up? Bring in some balloons, some crafts, uh, coloring books, whatever you can do. I don't know if whatever phase your child is in, if they can't color or whatever, think of creative ways to bring in maybe some fun games, make it more fun. And you know what just popped in my head? Patch Adams.
Yes.
I would encourage parents to research Patch Adams. And if I was a parent that had a child with cancer, I would research Patch Adams and I would listen to his interviews and I would listen to his views on the environment for children and healing for children
Mm-hmm.
and see what he has to say.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We
Yeah.
our family loves that movie. And Robin Williams went on, after his experience filming that movie, he every Christmas would go to the children's hospital and visit the different children on Christmas Day and just bring a little bit more happiness into their lives. Um, our good friend Haley, who was diagnosed at the same time as my daughter Celeste, when she went into the hospital, someone sent her a singing telegram. Now that singing telegram was in the form of a gorilla, a man in a gorilla suit, and they had to sneak this man in through the hospital
Oh,
because
that's great.
they weren't sure how little children would take to this big gorilla walking through the hallways. They didn't want
Yeah.
to scare anyone, so they had to sneak him through all the back elevators and back corridors so they could get him into her room so that he could sing to her.
Yeah.
There's always ways to do it. That if you know of a way that will help your child, that will brighten their day, then yeah, I think it's sometimes it's rule breaking, sometimes it's rule bending, and just saying, okay, what can we do on a creative level to make this happen? Sometimes it will be through Skype or other means. That there are some incredible celebrities who make children's days. What you did for Celeste by writing that song for her was incredible. She loved that song, and we listened to it over and over and over again. So there's so many people out there who are so loving and thoughtful and want to make children's lives happier, and give them hope to keep moving on. And I think it's the same for parents too. What would you recommend for parents to help keep their spirits up and their hope, and to make their days a little happier as they care for their child?
Oh, that's a good question. I do want to say first, though, for those that are listening that don't know Laura and her child Celeste, and the song that she mentioned that I wrote for her, a couple of things I just want to say. Uh, she wanted to be an actress, so that's why the song Angel on a Stage. So very, very powerful, powerful song. Just the title in itself. Um, that just came like pouring through me. And the most powerful songs I find are, and things that I do are connected to the children and helping the children. So I just wanted to mention that, just to share her legacy a little bit more, how she wanted to be an actress. And uh, another I want to share with everyone listening is that she was a big Robin Williams fan, and Robin spoke with your daughter, right? She's
Yes,
with Celeste.
yeah.
And I just love Robin Williams just to pieces. I love him and always did. And I wrote a song for him too. But in regards to the parents, first and foremost, I would say is understand who we are. You're not a human being. You a human experience. I mean, you're a human being, but you're a soul having this human experience. And so it's just part of the journey, just to know that the soul goes on and not be so wrapped up in the physical where you think that this is all there is, because it's not. That's the first and foremost thing I would want to say to parents. It's very important to understand that the soul, the journey of the soul goes on, and so all is well. And again, I would focus on the light. I would focus on understanding that everything does happen for a reason. Each individual picks their journey for the expansion of their soul and the expansion of other souls. We're all here for one another. Whether people realize that or not, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe.
Another, and we all learn from one another. And so that's what I would want to say to the parents, is to really understand that and embody that. And then focus on the love, the light, the positivity. How can you just understand that and focus on that?
That's all great advice. Thank you, Fizz.
Yeah.
That's something that I share in my book as well, is that importance of love. That after you do everything else, then you need to not only love your child, but love yourself, and be forgiving of the mistakes that we make, and be loving and grateful for all the people around us who are supporting us through the difficult stuff that needs to be gone through. And then if you can keep that foremost in your mind, that's what brings you peace. And I think that's what will bring happiness, is that when we can just focus on the love that we have for our children and our gratitude and love for all of those people around us, that will bring so much more hope, that life is good and people are awesome and so many people want to help. And it's been fabulous being able to do this summit and knowing that there's so many people who want to share with parents who are going through the most difficult times right now, but yet their hearts go out. And we really are grateful to you, Fizz, for taking this time. Thank you so much. And we'll make sure that we have a link to your website, and that people can listen to your uplifting music. And where can they order a copy of your CD?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. They can order it at my website. There's a couple of links, I think, on the front page when they go to fizzforever.com, F-I-Z, the number 4, and then ever.com. And if they click the music tab, it'll take them to an option where they can buy the CD. There's a book I wrote, Rockstar Within. They can buy that book. It's a great book. And if they click Fizz TV, they can see videos of me. There's some fun videos of me with Bob Proctor. You know, we both met at Laura and I both met at a Bob Proctor event, The Matrix, and there's a little video clip of that and on my Fizz TV, so they can, sign my mailing list. I'll send some free music. I have it set up where if you sign my mailing list, I'll send some free music, so I can stay.
We'll make sure that we send people there. Thank you so much, Fizz. And
you're welcome.
I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to doing some more interviews in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one thing I do want to mention quick, it just popped in my head. For any of the parents out there that their children are still here or even past, I'd encourage you to write a song for them. You can contact me about that, having their own song, and really helpful too, if they had their own song. So you can reach out to me about that as well.
Terrific. Well, we'll make sure that they have the link for that. Thank you so much, Fizz. That's great. So.
All right, peace and love.
Thank you.
What I love about this interview with Fizz is not only hearing about the work he has done to share his music with children in hospital, but also his many ideas to help parents bring healing music into the lives of their children. To learn more about Fizz Anthony and to listen to his music, please visit his website, fizzforever.com and signaturesonsbyfizz.com. Please join me next week for my interview with highly sought-after business consultant, speaker, and coach Kevin Hall as we discuss the power of words and what we can do to remain positive in the face of adversity. Before we end our show today, we have one last segment. Over the last few years, I have asked other cancer moms what advice they wish they known when their child was first diagnosed. I have compiled that information and will be sharing their advice each week. You can download the top 101 pieces of advice that I put together as a mini ebook at twomothersOneprayer.com. Today's advice comes from Amy. Amy writes, "Take lots of pictures, make lots of memories, and follow your gut. Some of my family's best memories was when we were living in the hospital. Take it day by day, sometimes minute by minute. And when you feel something is not right, you are probably right. Tell someone, make them listen. Lay in bed with your child and tell them all your best memories and listen to your child tell you theirs." Thanks, Amy, for sharing. That was beautiful advice. If you have advice you have learned along the way that you wish someone had told you weeks, months, or years earlier, I invite you to fill out the contact form on our website, twomothersOneprayer.com, and I will be sharing your advice with our listeners on future shows. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule today to listen to the Hope.Strength.Courage podcast. I look forward to sharing more experts and advice with you again next Wednesday. Please remember to take a minute to subscribe to the show. Thanks also need to go out to our Hope.Strength.Courage production team, which consists of my wonderful assistant Tracy Ogilvy McDonald, Andrew Braun at Braun Audio and Audio Geek, music by Fizz Anthony, social media support by Marie Constantino, and graphic design by Amy Hosmer. To learn more about myself, Laura Lane, and to order my book, please visit lauralane.ca.